This video is brought to you by Smash Bracket, the animated versus battle series that seeks to answer who is the strongest character canonically in Super Smash Bros. We're having a giveaway right now to promote our Kickstarter, where any one of you could choose any matchup of your dreams to be animated and put on the channel. So if there's a death battle or another versus match you have always wanted to see but never had the chance to, now is your shot. Link is in the description. For years now, I've been trying to figure out the question, who the crap is going to be added to Super Smash Bros. For DLC? There's a whole community around it, my entire channel was dedicated to that question for a while, and everyone seems to be relatively bad at predicting it. With that said, over the course of my channel's lifetime, I have done hours of research trying to figure out my personal predictions on who's getting into the game. While there's a lot of metrics that people pull from, such as sales or company relations, or the character's current popularity, I've tried to take a balance between all of those and figure out the characters that I think genuinely stand the best shot. So before I get into this, write down in the comments your 5 top predicted characters and let's see how they match up. It should be fun. Let's get into it. Alright, first off, we have a representative from a fighting game. We've seen from before that Nintendo loves to include characters from fighting games. We have Ryu, and we have Ken, and we have Terry, and I think that there's a decent shot that we could get another one in soon. I had trouble narrowing this down. I'm going to list off the candidates that I have for this spot and then tell you who my most likely predicted is. First off is Scorpion, who's the face of the Mortal Kombat series. There's been a lot of debate around this character and whether or not he stands a shot at getting into Smash. I have a full breakdown on his chances in the top right-hand corner. But for me personally, I think that his games are well enough known in the West that he stands a decent shot, but I wouldn't put all of my money on him, especially due to the heavily mature content of his game. I could also see a character like Jin or Heihachi from Tekken getting into the game, but we've already had Tekken post-game DLC content, so I would be surprised if they added him after that. So this brings me down to 2 more fighting franchises that I'm considering. First off is Guilty Gear, which I think stands a decent shot with a character like Soul Bad Guy, but my personal guess for if we were to get another fighting game character would be somebody from Soul Calibur, specifically Nightmare. Nightmare is a super awesome, imposing villain that just looks like he fits into Super Smash Bros. It would be really fun to use his sword and potentially shift between Siegfried and Nightmare, 2 different versions of the same character. He's someone I've been rooting for a long time and would love to see get into the game. I'd give his chances about a 5 out of 10. My next predicted character is going to be somebody from a first-party series. There's a lot of candidates for the spot, specifically Pokemon or Legend of Zelda with Breath of the Wild making a resurgence, or something out of left field that people are entirely not expecting. Starting with Pokemon, there are so many that it's hard to say who they would include. They've done a Spirit event for Pokemon characters as post-release support for the game, and while it's hard to say exactly what that means, it does personally hurt my chances for the characters coming to Smash just a little bit. If I were to choose any character from the game though, it would be to do another Pokemon trainer. I once again have a full video breaking down how that would work in the top right-hand corner, but I would love to see a trainer operate with a full team of 6 Pokemon that they can cycle between. Kinda like Schultz Monado Arts. I know that would be a ton of work for the Smash team, but we've also seen them go above and beyond for other characters, so it would be really neat to see. If we get a Legend of Zelda character, I personally would love it to be Impa. She's been my most wanted character in all of Smash Bros. For a very long time. She's been in more Zelda games than any one iteration of the 3 Triforce-wielding characters, and has played a variety of roles over the years, but has always been present in the games. I'm not sure if they would go with her older style, like Hyrule Warriors, or if they would go with her new, cuter look. I personally am a fan of the Warriors design, but you do you. As for a pick out of left field for a first-party character, my guess would be maybe the hero from Dragalia Lost. Now, if you haven't heard of Dragalia Lost, I don't blame you. It's a Nintendo mobile game that came out a few years ago, and while its audience isn't huge, it is incredibly dedicated. And as Nintendo tries to break more and more into the mobile market, I could see this inclusion making a lot of sense for a lot of different reasons, and it would be really neat to see a character that nobody talks about come from Nintendo into Super Smash Bros. I personally would be super excited for that pick. I give a first party's chances of getting into Super Smash Bros. A 6 out of 10. My number 3 pick for DLC is Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Now, there is more to say about Sora than almost any character I've talked about on my channel. He has a lot of weird arguments going both for and against him. I once again made an entire video on the topic, but in general, the main complaint against Sora boils down to one word: Disney. In the video that I mentioned, I proved that Nintendo and Disney not only have a good relationship, but they've had a working business relationship for years, and that Disney has been willing to lend their characters out to other gaming companies like Sega before for Sonic Racing. Kingdom Hearts sales are incredibly good, its fan base is insanely passionate, and I think Sora would make a lot of sense. The only major thing working against him in my opinion is the fact that he's not already in the game, which I know sounds a little weird. Of course, he's not going to be able to be added unless he's not in the game yet, but he just seems like such an obvious pick to me that it's weird that he hasn't been included. I give Sora's chances of getting into Super Smash Bros. A 7 out of 10. My next guess would be a character from Sonic the Hedgehog. Sega, and very specifically Sonic, have had a super interesting and charged relationship with Nintendo over the years, hitting a lot of ups and downs and serving as rivals to each other. But his presence is undeniable. His fan base is one of the most passionate I've ever seen, and we know that Nintendo loves working with the franchise. So in my opinion, it's really weird that we've gotten another Final Fantasy character, we've gotten another Street Fighter character, but we haven't seen that same treatment come to Sonic. I really genuinely suspect that we're going to be getting a Sonic character as DLC. As for who it will be, it's hard to say. I'm inclined to think we'll have a character who's not already represented in the game, not because assist trophies or spirits disconfirm or anything. I think that Nintendo would just prefer to introduce new content. But when it comes down to it, I've got a few candidates in mind. First would be Shadow. I know that Shadow's been represented in Smash before, but he's incredibly iconic, especially for people who grew up in the early 2000s, which is kind of Super Smash Bros. Target audience right now. If he gets added to the game, I wouldn't want him to be an Echo Fighter. Rather, I would love to see him have a totally unique moveset revolving around Chaos Magic. My next guess would be either Tails or Knuckles, and out of those two, I think I would probably side with Knuckles. Knuckles has been the star of his own game and has been alongside Sonic from the very beginning. He's flashy and brash, and I think he would make a lot of sense to add to Super Smash Bros. My number one pick is a character who I think could be likely, but I personally have trouble visualizing how they would play, which is Dr. Eggman, the main villain of the Sonic series. Whether he would be outside of his machines, like he is in some Sonic games, or he would be inside of a mech suit, it's hard to know. But the character is so iconic. He's arguably up there with Bowser, Isabelle, and Sephiroth as gaming's most iconic villains, and it would be really cool to see him added to the game. I give a Sonic's character's chances of getting into Super Smash Bros. An 8 out of 10. Before I get to my final pick, I want to tell you guys about a cool way that you can choose an animated battle to be featured on the Smash Bracket channel, which, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is an animated versus battle series that seeks to figure out who is canonically the strongest character in Super Smash Bros. And spoiler alert, it probably isn't who you're thinking. I think that the series has a ton of potential. I think it could be the next death battle, but it can't be that without you. We're currently trying to fund a Kickstarter right now. Each video costs me about $400 to $500 to make, and I'm a dad of 2 who works out of his home office, so I could use all of the support I can get. So check out the giveaway link in the description below, and check out the Kickstarter. If you could even just pledge $1, it would be a huge help to the campaign. Anyway, let's get on with my number one most suspected pick for DLC for Super Smash Bros. Crash Bandicoot. Now, I know that this is a cliched pick. Crash is a character who is repeated all the time, but there is just no universe in my mind where Crash does not get into this game. I am 10 out of 10 positive that he is coming to Super Smash Bros. And if I am wrong, you can come back to this video and make fun of me all you want. But I would bet my left foot on it. Okay, I'm not that attached to the idea, but I am fairly dang positive that he's getting into the game. Crash Bandicoot is incredibly iconic, with super great sales, an influential game design that changed the way that games were optimized, and Crash is a platforming icon who can stand up to Mario and Sonic. His game sales speak for themselves, and like I said, I just don't see any universe where he's not coming to the game. I give Crash, like I said, a 10 out of 10. He is coming. But with that said, who are your thoughts for DLC, and who do you think is getting into the game? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to check out that Kickstarter and giveaway if you want to help support the campaign. And I want to give a huge thank you to the members of the channel for this month. You guys are the best. And until next time, keep thinking.